Good afternoon, guys. This is Wade from Wade's Movie World. It is April 1st, 2020, and that means Wade's Movie World has been online on YouTube for one whole year. Can you believe that? It's already been a year. My goodness, time flies. There have been a lot of good times, but this past year has also brought about some really shitty times for me in my life. It changed everything about my life and where I thought I was headed. Um, but yeah, I mean, that happens in life. But this is not about any of that. This is about saying thank you to all of you for being my subscribers and for watching my videos and for commenting on my videos and liking my videos and sharing them. I do ask one favor though. If you guys could still help me get some more subscribers to my channel, I would really appreciate it. I've only got 46 right now, and I would really like to at least make it to 100 or heck, even more than that one day. So yeah, tell your friends and families and neighbors and everyone you know about Wade's Movie World and what I do on this channel. But this is my way of saying thank you to all you guys. And this is the first of 3 special videos that I'm going to do, and I enjoy doing these videos a lot. This is going to be my DVD collection video, talking about all my DVDs and movies that I own on DVD, and just a chance to connect with you guys and for us to talk movies. And this is probably one of the best times to do that, especially with what's going on in the world right now with the COVID-19 coronavirus that's wreaking havoc in our world. And I know it's making a lot of us crazy. We're ready to return to normal life, and or maybe even a life that was even better than normal for some of us. So this is just a video for you guys to say thank you and to kind of put something positive out there with all this coronavirus talk, because I know we're all just sick of that. I'm one of them. So yeah. Okay, my overall DVD collection video. Let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Starting off with an animated Disney movie. One of my favorites, Lilo and Stitch, came out in 2002. I saw this several times in theaters, and I fell in love with these characters from the very first time I saw this movie. Great film for any age, for the entire family, for kids, adults, anybody and everybody. So Lilo and Stitch, great Disney movie. This one was made for TV, or made not for TV, but straight to video. Another Disney movie, the sequel to Lilo and Stitch, Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch. Very good film. A really good movie with some funny moments in it. I love Lilo and Stitch 2. It's not as good as the first one, but it's still really good. Okay, let's talk about a action movie from the 90s. Tommy Lee Jones starring in Volcano, about a volcano that erupts in the middle of downtown Los Angeles. That would be scary, wouldn't it? Okay, how about some babes and beaches and lifeguards and other stuff, huh? I used to watch this as a TV show, then they made several straight to video DVD movies. This was probably the best one. Baywatch Hawaiian Wedding, starring David Hasselhoff, Alexandra Paul, Pamela Anderson, Jason Momoa, and Carmen Electra, and even more. So yeah, this was a really good film, even though it was kind of cheesy, which Baywatch was always cheesy. The one thing I really enjoy about this movie is for the opening credits, it has the famous theme song from the show, I'll Be Ready by Jim Jamison, which the 2017 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Baywatch movie did not have, which was kind of a disappointment. So at least this one had it. So yeah, Baywatch Hawaiian Wedding. Mel Gibson and a young Heath Ledger in a Revolutionary War movie directed by Roland Emmerich, The Patriot. Great movie. Protecting the President. Eva Longoria, Michael Douglas, and Kiefer Sutherland are Secret Service agents in The Sentinel. Great, great action movie. Okay, I went to see this movie, I believe it was in 1993, with a group of friends of mine. It was one of my friend's birthday. His name was Mark Willman. That's when I was living in Fort Stockton, Texas. Me and Mark were real good friends. So, Mark Willman, if you're somehow watching this video, which I hope maybe you are, I never forgot you, brother, and you were always a good friend, and I think about you sometimes, especially when I watch this movie because one of the first films we saw together. Ernie Reyes Jr., Rob Schneider, and Leslie Nielsen, and the funny action comedy Surf Ninjas. This was such a fun movie. I remember when I saw this on DVD. That's when a store called Hastings was still open. It was like $6.99, brand new, and I immediately picked it up and went to the register and bought it because this was such a fun movie. What's funny about this movie, and when we went to see it for my friend Mark's birthday, we were all sitting there waiting to go into the theater, and they had the posters along this wall. Of course, they had the poster for this, which was the same as the DVD cover here, and they had some other ones. But the one that we all noticed and really started talking about, wondering what it was about, because I wasn't allowed to see these movies back then because I was too young. We saw the poster for Jason Goes to Hell, and I remember we all had a really intense conversation about that movie poster. So yeah, and then it was like a 10-minute conversation we had about that. Then they said, okay, we're seating for Surf Ninjas. So we all went in and took our seats and enjoyed the film Surf Ninjas. But yeah, it was really funny how we're just sitting there waiting for the film and we all got to talking about this poster for Jason Goes to Hell. Because of Winn-Dixie. This was actually a book before it became a movie. This stars Jeff Daniels, Cicely Tyson, Dave Matthews, Eva Marie Saint, and introduced this child actor by the name of Anna Sophia Robb. So yeah, because of Winn-Dixie. This is a really good film. I had the first one of these on Blu-ray. The rest I have on DVD. So the one that's on Blu-ray is Jaws. But we're going to talk about the other films. So we have the sequel to Jaws, Jaws 2, starring Roy Scheider. It's about another shark several years later after the events of the first movie that's once again terrorizing the waters off the island of Amity. So yeah, Jaws 2. Not as good as the original Jaws because the original Jaws is just a masterpiece, but this is an okay film. Jaws 3, about a shark who invades SeaWorld, so it's all right. Jaws the Revenge. All right, let's talk about some cowboy western movies. John Wayne and Robert Mitchum in El Dorado. Really funny western movie. John Wayne and Montgomery Clift in Red River. Okay, let's go into The Final Frontier. Directed by J.J. Abrams from 2009, the film that got me into the Star Trek films, Star Trek. This is not the first time I was ever introduced to Star Trek. I had known about the original series and the very first original movie back in the day with William Shatner, but this is really what got me hooked into Star Trek. I did, however, watch on TV when it came on, the one with Patrick Stewart, Star Trek The Next Generation, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I liked those two Star Trek shows, but as far as the original series and the original movie, I really didn't like those. But this is the film that really got me hooked into Star Trek. If it wasn't for this film, I probably wouldn't be a Trekkie, but I consider myself not a huge Trek fan, but this movie changed that. But I'm still more of a Star Wars guy. The sequel to that movie, directed by J.J. Abrams, came out in, when did this come out? 2013, Star Trek Into Darkness. The third one wasn't as good. It was directed by Justin Lin, came out in 2016, I believe. Star Trek Beyond. It was okay, but it just wasn't as good as the first two. All right, let's talk about some MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Uh, how about Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins, Idris Elba in Thor? This was a really good movie. The only downside of this movie was the love interest, which was portrayed by Natalie Portman. She was okay at times, kind of like she was in Star Wars, but I mean, she is not a good actor to me. I'm sorry, she's just not. Maybe she's good in like rom-coms or something, but in like love stories about heroes and Jedi Knights and stuff, she just sucks. I'm sorry, she does. But overall, this is a really good film, minus her. This movie got a lot of backlash or crap saying it wasn't good. It wasn't what the first one was. I have to disagree. I thought this was a pretty good sequel to Thor, Thor: The Dark World. Um, I thought it brought some new elements to Thor. So I saw nothing wrong with this film. So yeah, Thor: The Dark World. Okay, living in a sewer, eating pizza, and training to be ninjas. 1990s classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Great film. I grew up on this movie. You know what's funny about this movie is this movie, when it first came out years ago, got a lot of backlash from parents. Oh, it's too dark. Oh, it's too dark. Oh, it's too dark of a film. And then the others just got lighter and lighter and lighter and stupider and stupider and stupider. This was amazing. I did like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, just as good as the first one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, this one was okay. It really kind of got just crazy after the second one. I think if parents hadn't complained about that first one, I think the second one and the third one would have been huge, huge movies for kids. Then in 2007, we got another story about that universe of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, TMNT. Then in 2014, they decided to reboot the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, and we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 2014. Then we got its sequel in 2016, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Okay, let's talk about an action flick. Who doesn't like Chuck Norris? So we have two movies set here. We have Chuck Norris in made-for-TV movies, The President's Man and The President's Man 2, A Line in the Sand. Yeah, they're kind of silly and corny, but they are good action movies. I like the first one better, but I mean, if you want action, you know, Chuck Norris he's a good action guy. Dread. This movie was so good. I did not get to see it in theaters. It did not stay in theaters long enough for me to get to the theater to see it, but man, I wish I would have now. This movie redefined Judge Dredd, and it's not a sequel to the 1995's Judge Dredd. It's a brand new take on the character, starring Carl Urban as Judge Dredd. But oh man, they had talked about a sequel for a long time after this, and Carl Urban, I've heard, is still open to come back to the character, which is great. But so far, nothing has happened. I hope we get a sequel. I haven't heard anything on a sequel for Dread. But anyway, this was a really good movie. Let's talk about a Disney movie. Prince Charming with some mice who are good friends to her, Cinderella. I grew up watching this movie. Good movie. Queen Latifah and LL Cool J in the Christmas film Last Holiday. Really, really funny movie. Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon, Taxi. Stick Around, Predator. God, this is such a fucking good movie. Just action, blood, guts, shooting, blowing up stuff in your face, alien movie. Just anything you want in an action movie, this is it. Arnold Schwarzenegger versus this thing from outer space, Predator. Best Predator movie ever. And there have been others after this, but this is the one. If it bleeds, we can kill it. This one was okay. It wasn't a great movie, but it was an okay sequel. I enjoyed it with Danny Glover and Bill Paxton. Rest in peace, my friend. Predator 2. I am the law. Judge Dredd. Love this movie. It's so corny and stupid, but I love it. It's a guilty pleasure. Matt Damon in The Bourne Identity. Matt Damon in The Bourne Supremacy. Matt Damon in The Bourne Ultimatum. I do have Jason Bourne, but it's on Blu-ray. Chuck Norris, Invasion USA. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Walking Tall. Chuck Norris in Forest Warrior. He turns into animals. Okay. These are not really movies per se, but I'll watch these like if I'm down or depressed or something. I just need something to just make me laugh out loud. I'll watch one of these. This guy, he's a stand-up comedian ventriloquist, Jeff Dunham. So Jeff Dunham, this is Arguing with Myself. Jeff Dunham, Spark of Insanity. Jeff Dunham's A Very Special Christmas Special. Jeff Dunham's Controlled Chaos. Jeff Dunham, Minding of the Monsters. Or Minding the Monsters, sorry. Jeff Dunham, All Over the Map. Jeff Dunham, Unhinged in Hollywood. Silence! I kill you! Welcome to Walmart. Get your shit and get out. One of my favorite romance movies starring Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, 50 First Dates. Love this movie. Okay, this movie that I'm about to show you, I consider this the ultimate superhero movie, even though it's a religious film. But this guy should be considered the ultimate superhero because his actions saved us all who ask for forgiveness from Jesus Christ to be saved because he died on the cross for us. Jim Caviezel in Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. Okay, let's talk about some more Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. The one that got it all started, Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. Had it not been for this movie succeeding, we probably would not have gotten Avengers, Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Had this movie not done so good and done what it was supposed to do, the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it today probably would not exist. So to Iron Man and Jon Favreau, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. A Jon Favreau film starring Robert Downey Jr. in the sequel to Iron Man 2. Directed by Shane Black, starring Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Don Cheadle, Guy Pearce, and Ben Kingsley. Kind of the worst of all the Iron Man films, Iron Man 3. It wasn't bad, but it could have been better. The best sequence in that movie is the Air Force One sequence. Okay, let's talk about the Star Spangled Man, Captain America, the First Avenger, starring Chris Evans as Captain America. Um, Fun note, before Chris Evans was Captain America, he also played another Marvel superhero movie before the actual MCU got started. He played Johnny Storm in the first two Fantastic Four movies. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. This is probably one of the best movies in the MCU. I really enjoyed this film. I have a love-hate relationship with this movie, and I'll tell you why. Captain America Civil War. Why do I have a love-hate relationship with this movie? Because superheroes should not be fighting each other. Leave the past in the past, get your shit straight, and work to save and protect the people of the world. Stop fighting each other. That's ridiculous. Is it a good movie? Yes. Is it a fun movie? Yes. But, yeah. Not the 2003 Hulk that was pure shit, but the one from the MCU that got the Hulk started was first played by Edward Norton, the Incredible Hulk. I really liked this film. I wish Edward Norton would have come on as the Hulk in the Avengers films, but I really liked that we got him in just this film because I think Mark Ruffalo's Hulk works for the Avengers movies. The one thing I wish we would have gotten more of is Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. I really liked her as Betty Ross, and if they ever do another Hulk movie with Mark Ruffalo, I hope they bring Liv Tyler back, and I hope Liv Tyler would like to come back to that role because she was really good in it. So yeah, this movie was good. The Incredible Hulk. Jim Varney in 1993's The Beverly Hillbillies. Chuck Norris and David Carradine, Lone Wolf McQuade. Abigail Breslin and Halle Berry and Morris Chestnut in The Call. One of my favorite documentary films, Look Up in the Sky, The Amazing Story of Superman. Though they probably need to do an updated version of this to include the Henry Cavill's Man of Steel, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and Justice League, and now the CW's Tyler Hoechlin from Supergirl and fixing to be Superman and Lois. Would I like to see an updated version of this? Oh, absolutely. But this is really good. I love the history of the Man of Steel. If you're a Man of Steel fan, then you need to get this. This movie did not get the praise it should have gotten or the love it should have gotten at the box office. A lot of people said they hated it. I actually liked it. I went and saw it 6 times in the theaters. Superman Returns. Great movie. Great movie. Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. What's your favorite scary movie? Scream. Scream 2. Scream 3. Wade, why don't you have Scream 4? Because I do not like Scream 4. The only good thing about Scream 4 is the ending where they killed the killer. They use those paddles that they revive someone at the hospital. She puts them right in between the killer's head and they go, clear, clear. Great ending. That's the only good thing about Scream 4. I did a commentary on this movie not too long ago. Great film by James Cameron, one of my favorite directors. The Abyss, starring Ed Harris and Mary Elizabeth Master-Antonio. A Little Princess. Fun fact about this little girl right here who plays Sarah Crew. She, after this movie, would go on to star alongside Harrison Ford as Alice Marshall in Air Force One. She played Harrison Ford's daughter. There have been several movies made about this specific event. This one was made for TV. I didn't realize they put it on DVD until I saw it one day in the store, and it was really, really cheap, and so I decided to get it. The memorial edition of Flight 93, the movie. And Flight 93, that's the story of United 93, the passengers who rebelled against the terrorists who tried to drive that plane into either the White House or the Capitol building on September 11th, 2001. I'm just going to say it. Talladega Nights. Oh. Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Anchorman. Hey everyone, come see how good I look. Oh man. This is a made-for-TV movie that appeared on CBS. I believe it was back in 90. I don't think this has a date on it. I think it was 97 or 98. Anyway, it came on CBS as like a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie or something like that. Jane Seymour starring in A Memory in My Heart. Great film. Grab shell, dude. Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Finding Dory. The made-for-TV movie Disney version of Annie, starring Kathy Bates, and I forgot what that guy's name is. He played in Titanic. Victor Garber as Oliver Warbucks. Now, that's what I call high-quality H2O. The Water Boy. Oops. We have the Criterion edition of the film Armageddon, which is my all-time favorite movie. So the Criterion edition, it includes things like some scenes that were not in the theatrical release of the film. They do help the film some, but then some of them really don't. It also has on disc 1 some special features, 2 commentaries, one by director Michael Bay with Bruce Willis and what's the other guy's name? Jerry Bruckheimer and Ben Affleck on that commentary as well. And in the second commentary, we have the cinematographer, NASA consultant Dr. Joe Allen, an asteroid consultant, and some other people who are on the second commentary that is included with the Criterion edition of Armageddon. So yeah, if you haven't seen Armageddon, great film. I like the Criterion edition, but I like the theatrical version probably a little bit better. But hey, if you like the special features and listening to commentaries from directors and stuff, then you need to get the Criterion edition of Armageddon. And then we have one of my favorite movies, kind of a stupid movie, but it's just a funny, spooky family, children kind of movie. Ernest Scared Stupid. Great film for Halloween time, or any time. I think it'd be okay for children and adults alike. So, yeah, I grew up watching this movie. Great movie. Ernest Scared Stupid. Dennis Quaid, Matthew Fox, Forrest Whitaker, and Sigourney Weaver in Vantage Point, about a movie about the assassination of the U.S. president. Good movie. (1947's) Miracle on 34th Street. Okay, let's get into some more movies. Superman the movie. If you haven't seen this, there's something wrong here. Christopher Reeve is Superman. He will always be my Superman. Michael Keaton in Batman. a 3-movie set of Chuck Norris, the Missing in Action triple pack, Missing in Action 2, The Beginning, Braddock, Missing in Action 3. Michael Douglas and Brittany Murphy in Don't Say a Word. Kurt Russell and Dakota Fanning in a true story called Dreamer. George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio in The Perfect Storm. I love this movie, still do to this day. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but man, this is a good movie. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. This movie was about the rebels stealing the Death Star plans, and it brought back Darth Vader, and man, did it make Darth Vader scary again. Whew, man. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Bumping Iron. Sylvester Stallone, Daylight. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Classic stuff going on right here. And no, this does not include the 2016 shit. Just the 2 classics. All right, we have the Batman 4-picture anthology. We have Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and yes, that one. And when I bought this, it came in this nice little pack here, which I will show you if I can get the rest of these back in there. Come on, get in there. Yeah, comes in this nice little box here. Rob Duvall, Kevin Costner, Annette Bening, and Open Range. The complete Rambo quadrilogy, which has First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, and Rambo. I do have Rambo Last Blood, but it's on Blu-ray. This steel pack, Chuck Norris, Fists of Steel, has The President's Man 2, A Line in the Sand, and Logan's War in it. Great set of movies right here. The Alien quadrilogy, which has Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. It also includes the special edition of Alien, special edition of Aliens, the assembly cut of Alien 3, and the special edition of Alien Resurrection, and a lot of bonus features as well. This is a great set. The steel container of all the Superman movies, including Superman, Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, Superman the extended cut, Superman 3, Superman 4, the Quest for Peace, and Superman Returns, plus a lot of extra bonus features. Great Superman set right here. Pearl Harbor by Michael Bay. The Matrix. The Matrix Reloaded. The Matrix Revolutions. I hear they're making a 4th Matrix movie. I do not see the need for that, but I don't know if they're going to continue the story somehow or if they're just starting over from scratch. Kiefer Sutherland and Sally Field and Ed Harris in An Eye for an Eye. This is a great thriller movie right here. Kind of scary at the same time, but man, this is a good movie. Chan and Tucker in Rush Hour. Chan and Tucker in Rush Hour 2. Chan and Tucker in Rush Hour 3. Your clothes, give them to me. Fuck you, asshole. Sarah Connor. Yes. Come with me if you want to live. James Cameron's The Terminator. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. But you're a Terminator, right? Yes. Cyberdyne Systems Model 101. I'm a cybernetic organism, living human tissue of a metal endoskeleton. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Terminator Salvation. One thing I don't understand about this movie is I like this movie, but I don't understand why Christian Bale uses his Batman voice. I mean, seriously, he uses it in a lot of the dialogue in this movie. I'm just like, okay, dude, your Batman days are over. Stop. Terminator Genesis. I do have Terminator Dark Fate, but it is on Blu-ray. The Italian Job. Race to Witch Mountain. You can't handle the truth. A Few Good Men. Nim's Island. More movie. Tommy Lee Jones and Cate Blanchett in a Ron Howard film, The Missing. Fuck you, asshole. Commando. Get off my plane. Air Force One. The Delta Force, starring Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin. The Delta Force 2. Boogeyman. No, this is not a Michael Myers Halloween film. Twins. I love this movie. This was directed by Kevin Smith. It stars Liv Tyler, Ben Affleck, and what's the girl's name? I can't remember what the little girl's name is in this movie. But anyway, Jersey Girl. Jim Carrey and Bruce Almighty. Jamie Lee Curtis, Lindsay Lohan, Freaky Friday. No, it is personal. They killed my dog. Shooter. Sweet Home Alabama. Don't judge me. A Cinderella Story. Sandra Bullock, Premonition. Sandra Bullock and George Clooney floating around out in space. Gravity. Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Bill Paxton, Sam Elliott, in one of the best movies to ever grace us in this universe, Tombstone. Okay, that's not it. However, I'm going to take a short break, and if you would like to take this opportunity to go to the restroom or to get you something to drink or eat, then feel free to. I will be back in just a quick second. So I will see you back here in just a minute. Bye-bye.
Hello. Gotham Cornerstone? Yes, we seem to be down to our last Diet Coke. A gentleman is on his way to pick some up. Just look for a black car. No, this black car will be rather difficult to miss. And by the way, the gentleman is usually in quite a rush.
Just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
Okay, guys, I'm back from intermission. Hope you guys are able to get yourself something to eat or drink, or if you need to use the restroom. So anyway, I'm just going to pick up right where I left off. So let's go. Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco. City Slickers. City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold. Okay, just shut up. G.I. Joe, Rise of the Cobra. G.I. Joe, Retaliation. Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. If I can get that out right. Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. You guys see it? There we go. I'm trying to get that glare off of it. Garfield, the movie. Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. This one kind of sucks. Shrek. Shrek 2. I think there's like 2, maybe 3 more Shrek movies out there after those 2, but really those are the only 2 I like. The Mask of Zorro. The Legend of Zorro. Avatar. I like Jim Cameron films, or James Cameron films. He goes by Jim, but his real name is James. Avatar was okay. It was a little overrated, but yeah, it was all right. Titanic. Winner of 11 Academy Awards. How to Train Your Dragon 1 and How to Train Your Dragon 2. I don't own the third one yet. Based on a true story. Oliver Stone, World Trade Center. United 93. Superman, Brainiac Attacks. Peter Jackson's King Kong. Kindergarten Cop. It's not a tumor. Put the cookie down. Bring the toy back to the carpet. Minority Report. Stupid Claire. Steve Martin, Queen Latifah, Bringing Down the House. Friday Night Lights. Rudy. Pitch Black. The Chronicles of Riddick. Riddick. Adam Sandler in Click. Houston, we have a problem. Apollo 13. Tarzan. The only thing I didn't like about this movie was Rosie O'Donnell's character. Great film. Brother Bear. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. Joyride. You know, speaking of Joyride, you don't see her character or this girl play in anything anymore. Lily Sobieski. She was in. She played in a TV miniseries, Joan of Arc. She also played the love interest for Elijah Wood in Deep Impact, and she was also in a few other things. You don't see her much anymore, though. Winner of 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Forrest Gump. Elf. It's all right. Aladdin. Rest in peace, Robin Williams, who did the voice for the genie. 2012. Arnold Schwarzenegger, End of Days. Dakota Fanning, Denzel Washington in Man on Fire. John Wayne, McClintock, Somebody ought to belt you in the mouth, but I won't. I won't. Oh, the hell I would. Charlotte's Web. The live-action Charlotte's Web. The one that brought us back to the darkness, which is what Batman is supposed to be. Batman Begins. Because after Batman and Robin, if it had done a lot better than what it initially did, there was supposed to be a fifth Batman movie directed by Joel Schumacher, starring George Clooney again. They're going to bring back Chris O'Donnell as Robin, Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl, and I think they were going to try and bring back the Joker. And there were talks about bringing Jack Nicholson back to play the Joker again. But since everything kind of fell apart after Batman and Robin, that didn't happen. It was supposed to be called Batman Triumph. But instead, thank goodness, we got Batman Begins. The Dark Knight. If you have not seen this film, oh man, what's wrong with you? The Dark Knight Rises. Out of all three of these Batman films, this is my favorite. I loved The Dark Knight Rises. I like Batman Begins and I love The Dark Knight, but The Dark Knight Rises, oh man, it was just awesome. Okay, let's get into some Star Wars. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Best one of the prequel trilogy, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, the one that started it all. Thank you, George Lucas. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And the ones that started bringing it down. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. The only reason I have this movie, it was an okay movie. It wasn't the best Star Wars movie, but it had Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and just one shot of Mark Hamill. But I was glad to see some of the classic characters back. Star Wars Trilogy bonus material. So like documentaries on the making of the Star Wars trilogy and just some other stuff. Really good stories about how it all came together in here. Double feature. Harrison Ford in The Fugitive and Tommy Lee Jones in U.S. Marshals. A James Cameron film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, True Lies. Chuck Norris in Top Dog. I feel the need for speed. Top Gun. Cannot wait for Top Gun Maverick to come out. One of the best films of the 1990s, starring Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum, Independence Day. Spider-Man, starring Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, directed by Sam Raimi. Spider-Man 2. I do not have Spider-Man 3. I do not like Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 sucks. Monsters, Inc. Bambi. Steven Spielberg's E.T. Okay, getting into some good ones now. Here we go. John Carpenter's Halloween. The one that started it all. Halloween 2. I do not have Halloween 3. Halloween 4. The Return of Michael Myers. Halloween 5. The Revenge of Michael Myers. Halloween 6. The Curse of Michael Myers. My favorite one, second to the original, Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween H2O 20 years later. Alien vs. Predator. Yes, I have Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I don't know why I have this. I'll probably end up throwing it away. Oh, I forgot about this one. Halloween 2018. Good film. Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Last Stand. I don't know why I have this movie. Halle Berry and Catwoman. Steve Martin, Bonnie Hunt, Cheaper by the Dozen. Great film. Steve Martin and Bonnie Hunt and Eugene Levy in Cheaper by the Dozen 2. Dennis Quaid, Rene Russo, Yours, Mine, and Ours. The Alamo. Man, I wish they would have made a third one to this trilogy. Instead, we got a reboot. Hellboy, starring Ron Perlman. And Ron Perlman is Hellboy. He owns this role. Gosh, why didn't they do a third one? Why did we have to get a stupid reboot? I wanted them to finish the trilogy, but no, let's reboot it. Stupid decision, Hollywood. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. The Day After Tomorrow. This is a really good film. I really enjoyed this one. Jodie Foster in Flight Plan. Kind of seems like what we're going through right now. I hope this coronavirus does not turn into this. Brad Pitt in World War Z. Okay, here we go. More movies, please. I, Robot, starring Will Smith. This was actually better than I thought it was going to be honest with you. Kind of a crappy horror film, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Darkness Falls. Oh, classic stuff right here, guys. Kevin Bacon in Tremors. This was actually a really decent shark movie. I loved this movie. The Shallows, starring Blake Lively. Jennifer Lopez in Enough. The best part of this movie is the ending where she kicks her ex-husband's ass. I mean, she just tears him a new one and beats the living shit out of him. Classic testosterone, in your face, beat 'em up, shoot 'em up. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, The Expendables. If you have not seen this movie and you grew up with 80s action movies, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? See this movie. Expendables 2. Best thing about this movie, they bring in the one himself, Chuck Norris. Epic, epic, epic. Oh, I loved this movie growing up. Saw it in theaters. One of the best movies I've ever seen. Galaxy Quest. It's kind of like a Star Trek knockoff. Oh, it's so funny. Jackie Chan, the spy next door. He's a spy, but for one of his missions, he has to babysit kids. Vin Diesel in The Pacifier. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Tooth Fairy. I don't know why I have this. Oh, such a great 90s action flick. The Peacemaker, starring George Clooney and Nicole Kidman. There's a lot of people who didn't like this movie. I didn't get to see it in theaters. I saw it at home after it came out on DVD, and I actually liked this movie. Battle Los Angeles. Michael Caine, Haley Joel Osment, Robert Duvall, Second-Hand Lions. Great movie. Okay, getting into some shitty horror movies. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Oh, what a classic horror movie right here. Oh, just to let you know, I do not have Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I do not like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. This first one was okay, but whatever. classic stuff going on right here, guys. Love this film. This is my all-time favorite horror movie. Yes, it beats Halloween. The Exorcist. If you have not seen The Exorcist, oh my gosh, it's more than a horror movie. It's about redemption, it's about faith. Oh, it's just got anything and everything. Love The Exorcist. Okay. Da, 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 da. The entire Indiana Jones uh, collection. Sorry. So we have some Indiana Jones bonus material right there. We have Raiders of the Lost Ark. We have the Temple of Doom. We have the Last Crusade. I've got Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls somewhere. Don't know where it's at. We'll have to find it. But I didn't accidentally lose it. Oh, there it is. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I actually liked this movie. Everybody said they didn't like it. I liked it. Poseidon. I really liked this remake. It was a good movie starring Josh Lucas, Kurt Russell, some other. Let's see who else was in it. Jacinda Barrett, Emmy Rossum. Oh, and Richard Dreyfuss was in this. I almost forgot he was in that. I wish Richard Dreyfuss. I wish they'd do another Jaws movie to where it was set after Jaws 2, like many, many years after Jaws 2. You know, we can't bring back Robert Shaw, he's dead. Can't bring back Roy Scheider, he's dead. But I would love to see if they ever made another Jaws movie that took place years after the very first movie, or maybe the first two movies, where they brought back Richard Dreyfuss. There's actually a really cool fan film Jaws trailer in which they do try to do that on YouTube, and I was like, man, they ought to make that into a movie. And Richard Dreyfuss is in it. I mean, they've used clips from other movies and stuff, but man, they ought to go to Dreyfuss and say, hey, let's do a Jaws film where it takes place many years after the first two, and bring your character back. Man, that'd be so awesome. Frank Darabont wrote and directed this movie. Stephen King's The Mist, and this starred what's his name? Thomas Jane. And it also stars Marcia Gay Harden, and I know her mainly from the 3 seasons of the CBS medical drama that she was in, Code Black, where she played Dr. Leanne Roche. And man, she shined in that role. She shines in every role, but I know her mainly from Code Black, and I loved Code Black. One of my favorite kind of horror action thriller Christmas movies starring Ray Liotta and Lauren Holly, Turbulence. If you have not seen this film, oh man, you need to see it. This is a great movie. I cannot stress to you enough how awesome this movie is. Great, great film. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. This should have been adapted into a live-action Batman movie. That's how good it is. Batman and Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero. Superman, the Last Son of Krypton. The Batman-Superman movie. John Wayne in Chisholm. Smile, you've just been erased. Eraser, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Loved this film growing up. Still love it to this day. George Strait, Pure Country. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Collateral Damage. This movie was actually, it was supposed to come out in September of, or around September of 2001. Well, anyway, they pushed it back because of the real-life terrorist attack events that happened in New York and Washington, D.C. on September 11th, 2001. So this one was pushed back for quite a long time. I can't remember its final release date, but it was a while after September 11th. Steven Spielberg presents a Joe Dante film starring Dennis Quaid, Martin Short, and Meg Ryan. I love this film. Grew up watching this movie. Inner Space. Funny, thrilling, action, adventure, Inner Space. Sandra Bullock, Michael Caine, Benjamin Bratt, Candice Bergen, Miss Congeniality. I like this one. The second one, not so much. Jim Carrey and Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm trying to get that glare off. There we go. Okay. Some more movies, please, in my hand. All right. Michael Bay, Transformers. The first one was really good. I liked the first one. Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen. This one was just as good, I think, as the first one. Third one's where it kind of started getting stupid. Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon. This one was okay. The fourth one was okay, but it could have been a lot better, I think. Transformers, Age of Extinction. Okay. This next movie. People are going to look at this video and say, Wade, why do you own that movie? Well, I own it because I like movies, even if they're not good. This one's kind of cheesy, corny, stupid. It's a guilty pleasure. I don't watch it all the time. Probably the last time I watched it was like 2, maybe 3 years ago. Maybe more than that. Oh, anyway. Dante's Peak. I liked this movie. Was it good? No. Is it corny? Yes. But could be worse. Okay, we got a triple feature here. We have Crocodile Dundee, Crocodile Dundee 2, and Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. Great films right here, guys. If you have not seen any of these, especially the first two, third one's kind of corny, but it's still good. But if you've not seen any of these, you're missing out. Love Crocodile Dundee. Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. The Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. The Rock and Sean William Scott in The Rundown. Okay, guys, we're almost done. You ready? Let's get these last few knocked out. Bryan Singer, Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Halle Berry, X-Men. Very first one. X-Men 2, X-Men United. X-Men 3, The Last Stand. X-Men First Class. X-Men Days of Future Past. I even have X-Men The Road Cut in here as well. X-Men Apocalypse. Don't judge me. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. I freaking love this movie. I grew up watching the TV show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Total awesomeness right here. It's morphin' time. Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Shifting to Turbo. Julianne Moore, Gary Sinise, The Forgotten. This movie was not as good as Olympus Has Fallen, but it's okay. White House Down, starring Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx. Morgan Freeman, Along Came a Spider. Life. And last but not least, directed by Roland Emmerich, starring Matthew Broderick. Godzilla. I love this movie. Okay, that's it. That is all my DVDs, guys. I am slowly trying to transfer a lot of these over to Blu-ray and maybe 4K if I ever get a 4K TV or a 4K player. But yeah, that's all I have as far as DVD goes. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I always enjoy making these videos because, like I said, I get to talk movies with you guys, and that's always a fun thing to do. So yeah, so this is the end of my video, guys. Guys, I know this thing has got us all in an uproar, the whole world. Hang in there. We're in this together. Just hang on a little bit longer, and hopefully all this will go away and we'll be back to normal. God bless you guys. I love you. Thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, please go down to the bottom of the video, click the subscribe button. Also hit the thumbs up to give this video a like. Be sure to hit that notification bell so you'll know when I have new stuff posted. Give me some comments, guys. You know I love comments. Tell me, do you like any of these movies? What were some of your favorite movies that I showed you that I own in my DVD collection? So, yeah, that's it. Stay tuned. More to come soon, I promise. So, next up will be my Blu-ray collection. And then after that, I'm going to give you guys my VHS collection. So, all right, guys, that's it. Take care. I love you. God bless. I will see you in the next video.